Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, my goodness. It's Armageddon everywhere. That's why you're watching the JP Peterson Show, because we talk about everything here, right? The California is burning. We don't make light of that at all. But what's going on out there is absolutely crazy. How do you have no water in the fire hydrants? What is happening? Are the Bucs about to lose their future head coach? I say no. Others say yes. We will debate. The Florida Gators destroyed the number one basketball team. We have a new golf tour that is nothing but simulations. What am I missing here? Oh, and the most amazing goal that you will ever see in dramatic fashion, maybe not ever see, but it was damn freaking good last night.
It was impressive
with the Lightning. So what else we got to talk about? We got a freaking playoff game. We got two semifinal college football games sneaking up on us tomorrow and Friday. So yeah, we may do 6 hours today. Timmy, how you feel about that?
I'll be here.
All right, Tim Ham joining us here from our Dallas affiliate. Good morning to you, where it's freezing there.
Dude.
It's going to be beautiful today. I'm playing golf today. 62, 63 degrees, sunshine, little breeze today at Palmacia. I was just there this morning for a little workout. By the way, we're doing a little experiment here, a little mental and physical experiment. JP went and worked out this morning, got a steam, got a little hot tub going. Did the whole, so mentally that's supposed to make you sharper and better on your show. I already feel better. But I want you guys in the comments, you to be brutal if you want. Is my performance better or worse today? It will be your choice. So please vote early and often, or vote late and often, as it might be. You can enjoy the entire experience.
You know, so JP, I usually try to match your energy on the show that you bring. I don't know if that's possible today. You're bringing all the energy already.
Yeah, I don't think so, babe. This is like my 17th cup of coffee because I was up early. I
resorted to this to try to keep up with JP. I've got the Red Bull out today, so
I had leftover osabuco for breakfast that Paulo brought in yesterday from Cafe Paradiso. Wow. Who doesn't have that for breakfast, right? With a side of lasagna. So I got my carbs going. Lots to get into today. So also guests today, Erik Erlendsson will join us at 11 o'clock. Haven't had old Double E's on for quite some time, so we'll get into what's going on with the Lightning. The sky is not falling, folks. Sky is not falling. This is a very good hockey team, and I think it's going to get better. Just a little bit of a little dry spot with the offense, but defensively they're playing really, really well. Saw that again last night, and they beat a really good Carolina team that I thought played a really tight game. It was a very tight checking game last night. So we'll get into that with Erik Erlendsson. My longtime friend Rick Ballou from 1010XL in Jacksonville is going to join us as we take the temperature of the Jags' thirst for our offensive coordinator, Liam Coen. We're going to get into that here in just a second. Is he staying? Is he going? What the hell's going on? So those are our two guests. Is Johnny going to join us? John Gerber going to join us? We know
no, he's tied up all morning. He said we'll start this next week as regular Wednesday appearances for the PGA Tour season.
Okay. Well, I need him to at least text me 30 seconds on what he thought about TGL last night.
Okay.
You did not watch. I did not watch the whole thing.
I'm very confused by the whole thing, to be honest.
It is confusing. It is confusing, especially for old heads like ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we got so TGL is the Tiger Woods Golf League, I guess it's called.
And Rory. I think Rory's a partner.
Rory's a partner. Yeah. So that was last night. I want to get into all the specifics of it, but we'll talk about it a little bit later on. But they, Xander Schauffele, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Ricky Fowler against Shane Lowry, Wyndham Clark, and Ludwig Aberg. So you've got the A-list players that are playing in this huge, what they call SoFi Center. It's on the campus of Palm Beach State College. They were going to start this last year, but the building, I think, was damaged by the hurricane, so they had to push back. And they're starting it this year, obviously. And I think one of the players, I think it was Xander, actually played in the PGA Tour event in Hawaii and flew back to Florida. Not commercial, but flew back to do this. And So they play on this huge freaking simulator, rock music going on. The format I won't even begin to try to explain to you, but it's supposed to be able to, be very competitive. The guys are all mic'd up so they can talk shit, and it's just good. It's basically like these simulators are taking over golf, right? There's some great ones here in there's a private one called the Annex here in Tampa that I've been to that is absolutely awesome. And it's where a lot of these, rich guys go to have a scotch and play golf at night, in these great simulators. And you can play all the different courses around the world. You can play the freaking Augusta, and it's real. I mean, it's not as real as golf gets, but it's pretty damn real. These simulators are so good. And then this one has a putting surface that I guess changes in certain ways. It's really high tech. It's loud music. It's golf. It's competitive. It's just guys talking shit. That's what they want. And I think they accomplished it last night. They got to tweak it. The match sucked. It was a wipeout. So there really was no barbs back and forth really, because it was a knockout. The Bay team beat the New York team. So Lowry, Wyndham Clark, and Aberg destroyed the other guys because Ricky Fowler's on that team and he can't play golf anymore.
He doesn't have to. He's making too much money with everything
right.
else.
Like, what's he making for this? It's just show up with a golf club in your hand, just
right.
Get it airborne. You're making money. No, he had a good season last year. I kid. We love Ricky. But it's just, look, this is where the game is going. I mean, it is. And the PGA Tour ought to be absolutely mortified. They ought to be scared out of it. They've screwed this up so bad. They've screwed our tours up so bad that this has opened the door for stuff like this. It's 2 hours. You don't have to invest your entire Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon watching 5 hours. It's just, so it's pretty cool. I like it. And I think I'm going to get into it. But we'll see where it goes from here.
I feel like they didn't market it very well, because I was aware of it when they announced it, and then I didn't hear anything. And I do a freaking golf podcast, and I didn't hear anything about it until I saw it starting on TV yesterday.
I think it was kind of a soft open. I think they were a little worried about what might happen. So I think it's probably a little bit of a soft open. With stuff like this, there's a lot of technology involved. It could have absolutely been a disaster. So I don't think they wanted to have the huge sampling. I think they're just going to ramp it up. So we'll see. Fair enough. All right, let's get into the Bucs. Obviously, today is a big day for preparation. We'll start finding out who's going to play and who's not going to play. My guess is, and these are just guesses at this point, just based on what they've done in the past, Antoine Winfield practiced a little bit last week. My sense is, and what I've heard is they targeted the first week of the playoffs to get him back. So how good will he be? I don't know. Jordan Whitehead's probably going to miss the entire playoffs. Story yesterday came out. We kind of knew all this on Sunday because Todd kind of divulged it. He was involved in an accident. Someone else went to the hospital. He was late to the facility on Saturday morning. Usually not a guy that does that. Just, who knows what happened on Friday night. He was out partying, celebrating or whatever. I don't know that he was doing that. He maybe just missed his alarm clock. Who freaking knows? But he was late, was hurrying to the center and got involved in an accident that sent somebody else to the hospital, not life-threatening injuries. So, it was a crash. It's not, people are freaking out about this. It's guy got in an auto accident. He's not going to be able to play in the playoffs. And that sucks because not that he was playing at a high level, but they're just so depleted in the secondary that losing him is a shot. And Antoine Winfield, I do think he will come back and play this week. It's still questionable, but I don't think he's certainly not going to be 100%. He's not going to be 100%. And they need everything they can possibly get in this secondary because, we don't need to be, Jimmy Johnson or any analyst to say that this secondary is the weak point of this team. Antoine Winfield has had a bad year for him, a very bad year for him. He just has been injured, has made a couple of plays, but not certainly what the Bucs are paying him to do and not what is expected of him. And most of that is injury related. Right. But whatever, you're not getting the production. Jamel Dean's been in and out of the lineup. Whether he plays this week is who knows with him. I would hope that he could get ready to play. It didn't seem like it was a super serious injury, but we don't know. So I think he will play. But again, how good can he play? You got Kayvon Merriweather, who played last week. Mike Edwards, who couldn't finish the game because of cramping, because he hasn't, played a lot of football, frankly. So that's an issue. This secondary, and you got Josh Hayes out there.
We really need Josh Hayes to step up, please.
Oof. I mean, that's a weak point. And they're going to try to get Terry McLaurin on him as much as they possibly can, because Zion doesn't travel. He doesn't travel with the best receivers. So you're going to get a lot of Josh Hayes on Terry McLaurin. Yikes. Terry McLaurin's a real freaking deal, in case you don't know. And Jaden Daniels can get him the damn football. So that's, that's going to be a bad matchup for the Buccaneers, no question about it. But they can score. The Bucs can score on this Commanders defense. And, I expect a shootout in this game, so it'll probably be 6-3 at halftime. I expect a shootout. I don't think either one of these defenses are championship quality. And Todd Bowles has been known to come up with some crazy ass things that work. See the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. Now, a lot of that was the Chiefs not having two offensive tackles that could walk and chew gum. But regardless, it is what it is. And they pressured Mahomes, and they got to do that to Jaden Daniels, who's not easy to catch. That's for damn sure. It's not a good matchup for the Bucs defense. It's just not. And don't expect them to hold down the Commanders like they did in week 1. That was a much better Bucs defense and a much worse Commanders offense, a much worse, more neophyte Jaden Daniels. So this is a race to 40. See whoever has the ball last wins. And in a game like this, I don't care how many yards the Commanders get. I really don't. I care about how many turnovers the Bucs defense can get. And they are absolutely bereft at getting turnovers. They're terrible. They're just terrible, especially interceptions. And so do I expect this defense suddenly be punching balls out, jumping on fumbles, doing sack strips and getting interceptions? No, I will say I will not expect that, but you need it. You got to get it. Can they do it? Yes, they can do it. Levante David's one of the best in the business at it. Antoine Winfield's one of the best in the business at getting turnovers. So these guys got to step up. If they're going to do anything in this playoffs, these guys have got to step up. To me, the offense is a given. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen easily. It's not what I'm saying. But they've proven that they can consistently put up 30 points a game. Mm-hmm. And they are on a roll. There's no question about it. Baker is playing great football. That game last week, in the first half, don't forget, they didn't have the damn ball, hardly at all. That's why the offense was not productive. They didn't have the ball because the defense was so bad. And once they got the ball, they scored at will. So don't worry. The offense is fine. Which leads us to Liam Coen. Now, we talked about this yesterday, but I think it's kind of been flushed out a little bit more. I was, full disclosure here, listening to Rick Stroud's podcast this morning. Great podcast with he and Steve. And he is of the ilk, and I don't want to misspeak for him. Please go listen to it. That the Bucs are okay with losing Liam Coen, and they'll just, they've hired great offensive coordinators before, and they'll go get another one. I would strongly disagree with that. I think, and I know part of the reason is any of this talk is just disrespectful to Todd Bowles. It just is. And I hate that part of it, but this is, it's a dirty business. The NFL it's a business, and you pack stadiums by winning and scoring points. You don't pack stadiums and have success by having defensive coaches who are not charismatic and whose defense is not great and do not manage games well.
Boring defenses.
Yeah. I mean, they blitz a lot. It's always, they blitz a lot, but
you don't get turnovers. You don't score defensive touchdowns.
Right. Not this year. Not this year. They just have not been good. So, and if you've heard me talk about this, and knowing that, I've covered the Glazers a long time. I know them. I speak with them. I saw Brian the other day at the game and coming off the field gleefully, ready to pay a $3 million bonus, unlike the Cowboys, who will go to any length to keep some of their players from earning their bonuses. Have anything to say about Cooper Rush?
Your backup quarterback You can't let him go out and play 13 snaps to get a $250,000 bonus for your backup quarterback.
What an embarrassment.
And then Jerry Jones comes out after they asked Jerry Jones after the game. He's like, I didn't know anything about that. You're the GM. You're the one that negotiates the contracts. You know. And then you go out, I don't want to get on a Cowboys rant, and then you won't re-sign Mike McCarthy, but you deny the Bears permission to interview him for their head coaching job?
This is a good discussion in terms of contrast. Yes. Contrast Dallas.
Be happy with your owner, Tampa Bay.
Yes, thank you. To what's going on in Tampa Bay. And so this is about ownership. And I will say it again, there is no way that Liam Coen is leaving this building if I'm the Glazers. And I think the Glazers are pretty smart guys. I think they can read the room. And Liam Coen got a request from the Jacksonville Jaguars, which he will probably fulfill by Zoom this week, if he hasn't already. He will also get a request from the Raiders. Tom Brady was, if you listen to the broadcast, he loves him some Liam Coen.
And he visited him in Las Vegas.
Yeah. And he visited with him for about a half hour, I'm told, down on the field before the game. Not a half hour, but some people say a half hour. I doubt it was that long, but
that's a long time.
Anyway, yeah. So what were they talking about? Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of attractive positions. The Jets. Recipes. Yeah. Mike Greenberg is interviewing with the Jets for the GM, the Bucs assistant GM, or whatever the exact title is. So you think with the Jets looking for a new coach that he's not going to say, I got a guy in Tampa. It's pretty good. He's pretty good. So if you're the Glazers, you're going to watch all of your competitors across the landscape of the NFL covet your offensive coordinator, who you could pair up with Baker Mayfield for another 6 to 8 years and have tremendous offensive success and consistency, because consistency wins in the NFL. Continuity wins in the NFL. Coach, quarterbacks win in the NFL. So you have that in your building right now. And Liam loves working with Baker Mayfield. Liam loves working with Mike Evans. Liam loves working with Tristan. Liam loves everything about this organization. You have all this in your camp right now, and you're going to say, "Hey, you go ahead. We're going to stay with Todd."
That's a hard sell to the fans.
Again, I don't know anything. Nobody's told me what the plan is, but I know this. The Glazers want to win, and they want to pack the house. That's their business. They're not in the business of anything else. Whatever other reasons you want to throw out there.
Let me play devil's advocate for you, JP.
Mm-hmm.
Look, everybody knows how I feel about Liam Coen. It's well documented on this show and on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Daily Blitz podcast.
Which you guys should all be watching.
But Todd Bowles, who apparently I might be related to, so I got to stick up for my cousin, right?
Yes,
got to stick up for my cousin, man. Family's family.
The resemblance is uncanny. I mean, let's just be honest.
I've been told that before.
I mean, come on.
So look, the facts are he has improved his record every year he's been the head coach. He's won the division every year he's been the head coach.
Can we add some context? Listen, don't put me in the position
out there.
Don't put me in the position of denigrating his accomplishments. Don't make me say he's 3 games over 500, but total. In context.
Yeah, total.
Don't make me say that nobody else in the division that has finished over 500. Although maybe, what did Falcons finish at? 9-8
this year?
Yeah. Okay, so 1 game over. Don't make me mention all that stuff. But it doesn't mean it's all about context, man.
It is.
It's all about context. And I just put it in the correct context. And could it happen? Yeah, sure. They could let Liam go and say, we'll go just find another offensive coordinator. We've done it the last 2 years. I think that would be extremely foolish. Extremely foolish chemistry, creativity, creating a culture where Liam wants to be here, all of those things, and you're just gonna let that walk out the building because you think you can go find another guy. I've watched the offense this year. I've seen the creativity. Has he been perfect? No, nobody is. And this is just the first year with Baker. It's just first year. Right. And the offensive line, which is young and getting better. All these things you have in-house, and you're just going to let that piece get away because you're confident you can just go find another one.
So I don't remember us having quite as not heated, heartfelt of a discussion last year when Canales was the potential for him to leave. I remember us discussing how well Baker played under him and how important he was to the offense last year, but I don't remember us throwing out the sky is falling if he leaves. Right?
Like look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. I think the offense was what?
The offense is better this year, clearly. Baker is better, but he also had a career season last season under Canales.
Yes, he did. But the offense as a whole was dead last in rushing the football.
Right.
Okay. And the first and foremost, they were dead last. You can't win consistently doing that.
No, I mean, my point is I don't think that it's necessarily get rid of Bowles and bring in the next guy. I think this is more a specific conversation about we can't let this offensive genius go.
Right.
And if it's time for Bowles to go, then it's time for Bowles to go.
Yeah.
Are we going to sacrifice?
It's a completely different dynamic.
Right.
Completely different dynamic.
Exactly.
They were 23rd in total offense last year. This year, I believe they're 4th.
And last in rushing,
and last
year, where are they in rushing this year?
I mean, Dave Canales was a breath of fresh air. There's no question about it. But did I think he was ready to be head coach? No, not really. I think he's not. But I think he did a great job this year with what he was handed.
With a slow start.
Yeah, with a slow start. But did I think he was an offensive genius that could not be replaced? No, there was no sense of that.
Right.
I thought, most of what we saw last year was Baker and Godwin and Evans.
Yeah. They're
just really good players, and Cade Otton and a pretty damn good offensive line that was getting better. So yeah, this is a completely different, and if you compare the two, you're just not paying attention. You're not paying attention at all.
Right. And we've run into this in Dallas 3 times in my recent memory. Go ahead with Bucs Basement there.
He says the stupidest thing the organization could do is keeping Bowles, because if Coen leaves and the offense regresses next season, Bowles is still going to be fired. Yes.
True.
And the other part about it, I mean, Todd has been very close. If he loses the Panthers game last year, he's fired. I mean,
he's come so close so many times.
If they lost that Saints game and the Falcons won the division, do you think Todd Bowles is sticking around? No, he's not. And again, this is so disrespectful. The dude's won 4 division titles. 3. He's won 3 in a row. I mean, with context, all right. So talking about this is disrespectful, especially in a playoff week. And I know, but we keep it real here. That's what you guys are talking about. That's what everybody's talking about. And we probably shouldn't be. We should be enjoying the day and the week and the playoffs and all this. And this is, but we're not going to just, for the sake of being politically correct, we're not going to ignore the elephant in the room. Okay. So and by the way, Todd Bowles is a grown-ass man who's been in this game for 40 years.
Former player.
He knows exactly what the score is, and he is richly compensated for the mental distress that he may be experiencing watching this show. And guess what? He ain't watching it. And he don't care. He's coaching his football team. So even though Tim is making me be, and you people are making me disrespectful by bringing up this topic, and I have to talk about it. We're going to keep it real. Now, Sergio says, Bill Trace, love having you in. People talking about firing Bowles, but who is out there that would replace him with? We don't know if Coen would be a good head coach. Bowles has won 3 straight divisions. The Glazers are not firing him. That sounds very acceptable. I mean, that is not crazy what you just said. But think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. Yeah. All those things that line up about the future that you know about this team. Is it easier to replace a 62-year-old defensive coordinator who has not distinguished himself defensively this year, or a up-and-coming offensive coordinator who has given you the best offense your franchise has ever seen, in my opinion, because of the balance? Now, there may have been more points being scored by the Bucs off the Brady offense in 21, but it was all one-sided. It was all one-sided, and you can't have that when you get into the playoffs and bad weather and all those things. You have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl with a more balanced offense, especially when you have a bad defense. That running game is protecting your defense. One of the reasons that this defense has not given up a lot of points in the second half is because the offense has been controlling the game and controlling the possessions. So they haven't been out there very long. And that's the best way to keep this team winning, is to keep that defense off the damn field. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Sergio, and I'm not saying it's crazy. But what's really crazy is letting Liam Coen walk out the door to keep Todd Bowles at 62 years old. How much longer is he going to coach? Hell, the guy may decide to retire in the offseason. You don't know. Is there a pathway to a coach in waiting? Sure. That sounds like a great idea to me. Todd, when you're ready to step down, Liam, you have the job, and you have the job. Like, it is yours. So, and you are going to be here with Baker. Ain't going anywhere. This core ain't going anywhere. This is your job. And I'm sure Liam would be fine with that, instead of jumping to the Patriots, which I guess would be his dream job. That's where he grew up, all that. But I think what he's also pretty smart. Yeah, Drake May looks good. What else you got in New England? What else you got? You got a long way to go. You got a young, emerging offensive line, the best running back, a rookie running back in the game, top 5 overall in the game. You've got Hall of Fame receiver and Mike Evans, and I still think he's got some tread on the tires. Chris Godwin is likely coming back. Jalen McMillan is emerging. Cade Otton is just getting into his prime. And you can add weapons from there. And you got one hell of a quarterback.
You just got to bring in a defensive guy.
Yeah. Is it easier to find a defensive guy? Robert Saleh? You interested?
Literally anyone.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah. That, and I'll be honest with you. This bowl system is not great. It's not great. It's hard to learn. You have a lot of mental breakdowns because it's way too complicated.
It confuses the young players.
Young players. When you got injuries, it's hard to run because you got a lot of different people coming in and out. A lot of zone drops, a lot of different stuff, and it's hard. Okay, and the numbers suggest it's not very good, especially in the clutch. So what are you holding on to? Is it possible that Todd Bowles is kind of along for the ride here because of the offense? Yeah. I mean, let's keep our eyes. Let me get the standings out here. Well, it says he won the division. By the way, Todd Bowles did not win the division. His team won the division, not Todd Bowles. His team won the division. Well, it says here he won it this year. What was it, 9-8, 8-9, whatever he won it. I mean, you just ignore that. It ain't like he's going 14-3. Come on, what are we doing? You're scraping by. You want to scrape by forever? You want to be mediocre? How about you don't have 5-game losing streaks with one of the best offenses in the game in the middle of the season every year? How about you start fast and stay fast? How about you have a competent passing game and guys in your defensive backfield, which is supposed to be your expertise, that can actually catch a goddamn football and intercept the ball? How about that? And take it away. Yes, he's done that a long time in his career. But again, here I am denigrating Todd Bowles. But these are facts. I don't want to do that. You're making me do it. Stop it. Listen, is it a gut-wrenching decision? Is it hard to talk about? Yes, all of that. I love Todd Bowles as a human being, but let's keep it real here, folks. Come on. Time moves on. Things move on. Things change. If you're a smart owner of this operation, and I believe the Glazers are very smart, they know what they're doing. It's just not really a hard decision, to be quite honest, in my opinion. All right, so let's move on.
We'll see how it plays out.
Or we should probably get to the comments because this is what the comments are all about. And there's
probably use a break too at some point.
All right, let's hit a break, and we'll come back and we'll get to comments because you guys have lit it up this morning, and I want to get to all of your thoughtful comments that are out there. And by the way, I've heard that the music's too loud, that they can't hear me, so I'll lean on my producer to be better this morning, even though he didn't get a workout like I
didn't get a workout this morning.
I feel good though. What do you guys think about the first segment?
Lord, I can't keep up. I need another Red Bull.
Oh my God. I'm at the gym every morning now. This is fantastic. Let's go. All right. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. We're coming to you from the Jeeves Law Group studio here in beautiful South Tampa on this sunny, chilly day. Actually, it's not even chilly. It's going to be perfect for golf. But if you are involved in an accident, Jordan Whitehead,
24 here.
You need to call Scott Jeeves, Jordan Whitehead, because you've been involved in an accident and you have issues. And they are aggressive, they are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So make sure you are represented by a great attorney, and that is Scott Jeeves. Any legal matter, they'll give you a free case evaluation. That is the Jeeves Law Group. Go to the website, contact them through there, and tell them JP sent you. Back in 3.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Up to 50% off everything in the store. Not everything. up to 50% off most things in the store. So get on over there to the Golden Diamond Stores. There after holiday sale is awesome. And the January birthstone, by the way, is garnet. Of course, FSU folks, garnet and gold. So get them something nice. In a garnet piece, you get a discount on that as well in January at the Golden Diamond Source. How about the new Cafe Paradiso spot?
Talk about energy.
I love the music you picked out for that as well. Yeah, so we were popping that here yesterday, and he starts to read the script that we came up with, and I'm like, Paulo, my man, let's get some Paulo energy in this baby. And he was like,
yeah,
ciao, Paulo here, the Cafe Paradiso. I'm like, bro, come on, give me that Paulo energy. So then he just like turned it on like in a heartbeat. I'm like,
that's great.
What I'm talking about.
That's great.
What I'm talking. That's what's the new one? Farfalle al salsiccio. Farfalle salsiccio, which is the bow tie pasta, and then it's like a creamy pink sauce, and then the homemade sausage in it. Oh, to die for. So head on over there to Cafe Paradiso.
And I'm sitting here eating my homemade breakfast burrito with breakfast sausage, eggs, cheese, and hash browns.
Oh my God. So, I post a lot on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and, you get some comments every now and then. So I posted this last night, and it's got more comments, or actually this morning, than just about anything I've ever posted. Did you see this?
Yeah. No, I reposted it, yeah.
Yeah. So on the Jumbotron last night,
there?
We do the show. I don't know. I got to find out. We
need to get Josh on the show.
And it says, this is on the Jumbotron. People can put these messages up, and then we pick them out and we put them up. So I guess just cleared the editors. But the group I work with, the Lightning Vision, I can see them seeing this and go, oh, yeah, we're putting that up for sure.
Wow.
It says, Josh, I think we are better off as friends. Thanks for the Bolts text, though, Rachel. So I got to know who Josh and Rachel are.
We got to have them on the show.
Rachel, you coated in that ice beneath the Jumbotron. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're just keeping it real, though. So yeah, the comments are fantastic. If you want to check it out on my Facebook, it's pretty funny stuff. And we'll get to the Bolts here in just a second. Erik Erlendsson is going to join us at 11 o'clock, but to the comments, and away we go. Of course, we're going to start off with this. Rick said, JP went to the Jade Orchid for his massage this morning, cocaine and waffles. Performance enhancing drugs to be sure. No question about it. That whole setup is, might produce today's high energy show.
I mean, if you've ever had real maple syrup from Quebec, like me, that's all I'll eat is real maple syrup imported directly from Quebec. It's like cocaine. I'm telling you, it's just like pure maple syrup from Quebec.
Quebec.
Dude, it is just like cocaine. I mean,
well, double up. Yeah, and plus the happy ending. No, that's not what happened. Ashley's watching, and I will be in big trouble. I would never do that. That's nasty. Those places are not that I've ever been, but I can't.
Just look for the 5-star rated ones. That's all you need.
Michael Sorgel says, I'll go to the gym tomorrow. Come on, bro. It's a whole new me. Michael LaRue, good morning to you. The Jacksonville job isn't a good one as long as Trent Baalke is still there. Hell yes. I ain't worried about Jacksonville. And Rick Ballou will join us here in 11:30. He's been the sideline reporter there forever. And it's a dysfunctional franchise as they get. I'm not worried about Jacksonville. I'm worried about New England. I'm worried about the Raiders.
I mean, Jets are dysfunctional too, though.
Yeah, but it's the New York Jets. And Mike Greenberg would be there. So I'm worried about that one too. But I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried about any of them.
Because he's not leaving.
He's not effing leaving. Go down with that'll be on my tombstone. Jim Barron says, JP, send the Bucs defense to your day spa for some mental awareness therapy this week. I did not go to a day spa. But they could use it. They could probably use the Jade Orchid. They're probably using it right now. Tuesday. Or is it? No, yesterday was the day off. What's up, guys? I always listen to the podcast later, but I'm randomly up this week. Oh, me too, Alex. All right, cool. What is Dallas doing with McCarthy? Haven't seen anything Jerry has said.
Well, I covered it just a second ago, probably before you popped on, but so his contract is up. He's not under contract. Other teams are interested. Jerry has not signed him to a new deal, but Jerry also has denied Chicago permission to interview him. So a reasonable human being would determine that Jerry's going to keep him. Apparently they met yesterday for 3 hours in Jerry's office. And then later Tuesday is when Jerry denied the Bears permission to interview him. So that right there would tell you a normal human being is going to keep him, right? If you're denying him other visits. So
what do you think they should do? You think they should move on?
I think you should. Well, who are you going to, unless you can go sign Liam Coen as your head coach in Dallas, I'm keeping McCarthy.
Yeah.
This was not a good year for him. He finished the season great after he was given some latitude on offense he wasn't given before. Mike Zimmer's defense caught on the second half of the season. I don't know if you're bringing Zim back. I don't know if Zim wants to come back, but I think you got to keep McCarthy. I'd sign him to a new 3-year deal right now.
Yeah, I agree. This changing of coaches all the time, for the hottest next thing, I don't think is the best idea, as I just, gave a soliloquy to hire Liam Coen.
Right.
I mean, just in terms of some of these guys that get hired, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? There's no way that's going to work. I mean, Urban Meyer. Obviously that was an obvious misstep. I mean, I could go down the list.
I think what happened was we had a run of very young coaches that got hired and they worked out, right? Like going back to Tomlin, and then Sean McVay. Some of these guys are young and they work out well. The vast majority of young guys with no experience that come in, I don't care if they're offensive or defensive, they fell miserably in their first head coaching job. I think you remember the ones that hit, you don't remember the ones that miss. So now that's kind of the trend in the NFL, and I don't think it's a good trend. I don't like giving guys opportunities when they're super young with no head coaching experience. I think it's a bigger risk than it is a chance of winning. So, but you get 1 out of 20 that work out, and then it makes that theory look stupid. So,
yep, I agree with you 100%. Nathan Elliott says the key to the game will be the Buccaneer running game against the WFT run defense. If they run the football, just keep Jaden Daniels off the field. Keep your defense off the field. That's why you want to run the football. Bucks Basement says the defense needs a complete overhaul from the players all the way to the coaching. I do not. Well, I'm not throwing everybody out, but a lot of people need to go. The key to the passing offense will be the status of Cade Otton returning and making some plays. Listen, Payne Durham and Devin Culp have played really well. I miss Cade Otton. Don't get me wrong, because Cade was really – I thought Cade was playing his best football by far, and I thought he was becoming one of the most elite tight ends. I mean, every time he got the ball, not only did he did have a couple drops, but he was moving people. He's become a really good blocker, and when he yaks – he finishes and he falls forward and takes people with him for about 5 or 6 yards. He wasn't doing that earlier in his career. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Michael LaRue says the Bucs don't have to grant permission to interview Liam Coen just yet. Yes, they do. If he's interviewing for a head coaching job, they have to grant permission. Any type of promotion, they have to grant the permission.
Because they're still playing.
Right. And Mike McCarthy, obviously it's a lateral move. Head coach, you can deny that.
Uh-huh.
If he's still under contract.
Until the 14th. His contract is up on the 14th. Boom. Right. And after that, Jerry, he didn't have to do anything.
Bucks Baby says, I don't give a crap about what is and isn't disrespectful. This is a business. This is not personal. You are 100% correct. But I am a host, and I have to go talk to Todd Bowles, and I do interviews and ask him questions. So I'm trying to be as respectful as I possibly can. I love that man, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I really don't. But I'm also, this is my job, is to not ignore the elephant in the room and try to be politically correct about it. I'm not doing that. That's not what you expect of me. Bucks Paper said, I'm so tired of cushion footing over Todd Bowles and being a good man. He could be the best man in the world. This is a business. It's nothing personal. It's the definition of mediocrity. You are cold, Bucks Basement. You are cold. You ain't wrong.
Because he lives in some damp, dark basement. They have basements in Tampa? They don't even have basements in Tampa.
Pasco County. I get a little elevation up there.
So okay.
Maybe, yeah. Nathan says Jason Light needs to get the Glazers to open all of their checkbook to keep Coen, Greenberg, Davis, and some of the other offensive coaches. Look, it ain't about money. Other teams have money too. You're not just going to outspend people. Other teams have money. If it's Liam Coen is not going to stay here to be the offensive coordinator, giving head coaching offers other places. He's not. No matter how much you pay him. Oh, here's $10 million. No, he's gonna make a lot of money and be guaranteed a lot more money other places. So, and that's not a thing. You just can't do it with money. You got to give him the opportunity. Yeah, we already read that one. Okay. Rick says Bucs better move quick to get Byron back.
All right.
Rick, you kill me, bro. You freaking kill me. Well, he did. He has resurfaced Byron Leftwich. Maybe he can go back and Jags jobs open again.
Hey, by the way, JP,
same GM, by the way. How the hell is Trent Baalke still employed? Shad Khan, what are you doing, bro? Although I did hear somebody say that they were doing he was doing an interview, I guess, with Baalke yesterday, and one of the questions was, would you be open to firing Trent Baalke? And Baalke's sitting right there, and Shad Khan's go, yeah, I'm open to anything. Because the new coach wants that, then it's sure that's a discussion.
Wow.
You gotta love that.
I did see some.
You know where you stand.
I did see some bad news for the Bucs fans, not on the coaching front though, for next season. As apparently, according to Micah Parsons, the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl next year, so the Bucs can forget about it. I don't know why Micah Parsons would make that statement on public social media when he doesn't.
What did he say? I'm sorry, I missed that. I was reading something else. What did he say?
Micah Parsons posted on X this morning that the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl next year.
Oh,
so
did he say he was going to be on the team?
We don't have a coach. We don't have a team. But so sorry, Bucs fans, you're not winning it next year. You better get it done this year because it's going to be the Cowboys. And this is one of the reasons I'm about tired of Micah Parsons. He just can't keep his mouth shut. He started his podcast, and he's kind of like me. He just sometimes talks to hear himself speak, but what I say is sometimes half intelligent. Okay, sometimes. I don't know if that's the case with Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I don't think just in general, guys who are currently playing should have long formats, podcasts. It's just there's too much to talk about. There's too many things to say. There's too many things that are going to go wrong. There's too many ways to piss off your teammates. Too many ways to piss off the fans. I'm not trying to shut anybody up. I don't. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I'd do that. I think I might wait till I'm done.
Especially somebody as opinionated as Parsons.
Yeah, I mean, listen to him. It's his life. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I'm not saying that. You shouldn't. I just if it were me and I was still playing. If I want to do a radio show or something, where I have a host and we're keeping it, pretty much on the rails.
PC, yeah.
I don't know. I've done a lot of those and they don't like, by the way, the teams don't like those anymore. They keep everything in house pretty tight. Sergio says, with all the injuries on defense, they still managed a 10-7 record, held the last 5 teams in the second half to 3 points or less. He's not getting fired and Coen stays. Oh, listen, the defense is not the reason this team is 10-7. I mean, let's just be honest, Sergio. The last 5 teams are second 3 points. Yeah, what'd they do in the first half? Who are the quarterbacks? Did they have the ball in the second half? All these things have context. And please explain to me how Coen is staying if Bowles is staying. Because he's going to say no to all these head coaching jobs because you say that's happening. Now, if he is given the coach in waiting contract, okay, then that could happen. And I'm all for that, by the way. I think that would be a great solution to the whole damn thing. I mean, you want to keep a continuity of what you're doing right now. And if Todd Bowles wants to stay and Liam Cohen's going to stay next year as the coach in waiting, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. That's the best solution for me. That's the best solution. I know Buck Spaceman doesn't think so, but I think you have to understand And by the way, the season's not over. The season's not over. We still have information to get. Now, if the Commanders come in here and boat race you and beat you 40-27, and your defense is awful, Todd Bowles is staying, and Liam's going.
Any other team would fire their defensive coordinator in that situation.
Right. That's what you're telling me, Sergio? Now, if they make a run to the NFC Championship game, no, you can't fire Todd Bowles, and you better talk Liam Coen in. That's to me the only way that this doesn't happen is if they make it to the NFC Championship game. I think it's going to be very difficult to fire Todd and hire Liam. I mean, I would try to find another way to do it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Sergio says that Bowles would have lost the Saints game last week. He's fired, but he didn't. But I think that tells you all you need to know, though, about where he stands in terms of, having a rock solid hold on this job. James says, JP, what can Glazers do other than offer Liam more money if the Bucs go deep in the playoffs? It's a great point. I'd say the coach and waiting thing. Offer him a lot of money and the coach and waiting thing. Because let's just be honest, he's not coaching for 5 more years. Even if they win. Hell, if they won the Super Bowl this year, I would say if I'm Todd, I'd be like, out. Pay me off, I'm out. I'm going out with a bang. And by the way, I don't think Todd's the type of guy that wants to do this forever. I think he wants to go watch his son play football, in college and do other things. I mean, he's not a maniacal football. I mean, listen, if your playoff hopes are waning in the balance, that music gets a little loud. Let's just cut the music. Let's cut the music.
I barely have it on. I can't hear it in my headphones.
Really? It's loud in mine. And my friend Jack Hannon says he can't stand it. So we'll give him a break for today. Because I love Jack. He watches every day. Let's give him some respect. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, if they go deep into the playoffs, and then I don't think Todd is going to be a guy that's going to coach into his 70s. I just don't sense that he's that kind of guy. He went to sleep when the Commanders and Falcons were playing. Yeah. Your playoff life is hanging in the balance. Sorry. I'm going to sleep, which is fine. But I just don't. I think that just shows that he's not some. I don't think Bill Belichick's doing that. I don't think most coaches are doing that because they're maniacal about everything, and that's one of Todd's strengths. He's not. It is a strength because there are some coaches that are wound so freaking tight it doesn't work, and he's not one of those guys. He keeps everything in perspective, doesn't overreact. Very Dungy-esque in that way, and that's a strength. You may not like it. It might not be entertaining to you, but it's a strength, I believe. Bucs will not lose season pass members if Todd Bowles is the head coach in 2025. He will get people to sign. Will he get people to sign up? Maybe not. Winning does that. Bowles is steady and stoic guy, is doing things never done before. Listen, Nathan's right. He's right. And you know what puts butts in seats more than anything? Winning.
Tom Brady.
Winning. Tom Brady does too. Sergio and Bucks Basement are going at it. I don't like it when you guys go at it. Let's all love each other here. Let's keep it.
Let's be nice.
Yeah. What else we got? Anything new here?
Did we lose Eric? Is he not popping on with us or what?
Who's that? Eric? Yeah. No, he's coming on 11. He's coming on 11. All right.
Okay.
James says Bucks don't have to fire Todd. They can move him upstairs after season or next couple seasons if they work it out with Liam. That's true. It's a good point. And this is a good point too. Sergio says we need to build the defense in the offseason, maybe grab an edge in free agency and then look to draft an edge and middle linebacker. Yeah. I mean, they've got to get better personnel, but I think they've got 2 inside guys that are, I think, the best tandem or top 5 tandem in the league. Is that fair with Vita Vea?
Yep.
And Cansey, I think they're fantastic. But all right, we got a lot of other stuff in here, but we got to hit a break. We're going to hit a break. Thank you guys for chiming in. Well, all right, one more Rick comment in here. I'm going to just throw it up. I don't even know what he says. How about you don't blow 2 games to the Falcons?
Is that the equivalent of Ohio State losing to Michigan every year?
Oh, and this Rick also says this. Quebec, USA, 51st state. Let's make it happen. And I want Greenland too. This guy.
It's not part of Canada, though.
I know. Michael Sorgel, I want Gruden back. Stop it.
No, he's
For what?
Out.
Pasco basements are meth labs. Rick says. Wow. All right, we'll get to the rest of these comments a little bit later on in the show. Quick break. When we come back, Erik Erlendsson's going to join us. We are going to just absolutely go bonkers over this goal, this dramatic game-winning goal last night by Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov. We'll celebrate that. We'll talk about where the Bolts are right now as they head to the midpoint of the season with the great Erik Erlendsson, the best in the business. We are brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any issues, plumbing issues, AC issues, or anything around the house, they will fix it, and they'll do it right, and they'll do it for a great price, and you'll get an honest job. That's what Third Generation Plumbing is all about, because they've been around for 3 generations. In fact, John Rodriguez, the owner, his family's been here since the 40s. So they are well known and well respected. Go read all their 5-star Google reviews. So if you have any issues with AC, plumbing, any of that, they will get there quickly and do a great, honest job. It's Third Generation Plumbing. Keep it local, folks. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com is the website. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Hey guys, why not kick off 2025 by popping the question? Yes, and you know where to get that perfect engagement ring. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. The best prices, the best quality, and yes, get her a real diamond. You don't want to go with the fake stuff. And January's birthstone is garnet for all you FSU fans, right? Get 15% off all the unforgettable garnet jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source. Also, discover Emilique by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts extraordinary. And don't forget, you have any unused gold? Turn it into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up. You can do it all at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at BAMMC.com. You just heard the new spot there for Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo is transitioning into concierge medicine. So this is the way to go, guys. Even with your insurance, you can still work with a concierge medical doctor. They'll be in charge of your health, help you with your nutrition, be at your beck and call 24/7. You can text him or call him to get a prescription, to find out what's going on. I do it all the time with Chris, and it's very, very helpful. I was feeling a little something the other day. I was getting sick. He said, let's go a little bit more in the vitamin C, some other things. And I was back in great form in 24 hours. So having somebody like that these days, it takes you forever to get in to see the doctor. So have that concierge medicine person at your beck and call. That is Chris Lugo. Just go to BAMMC.com and you can sign up right there and get all the information. Very affordable too. You'll be surprised. All right, let's welcome in the man, the myth, the Lightning Insider. He is the great Erik Erlendsson. What's up, partner? How are you?
I'm good, JP. Long time no talk.
I know, man.
Good, holiday and
I don't know what the hell I was thinking, not having you on more often. I mean, my God. Yes, had a great holiday. I hope you did too. Doing the fam. Do anything special? Take any trips?
No. We stay home. We usually host Christmas dinner. We actually hosted dinner on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
With the parents, and my son came over from Orlando with his fiance, so we had all the kids together. That's
beautiful.
That's the
mine too.
Part,
Mine too. Yeah, traveling into holidays? No, thank you. Thank you.
Just traveling I-4 is bad enough.
You don't have to tell me, bro. You don't have to tell me. All right, so a lot of people were freaking out. 4-game losing streak. The analytics told us that the Lightning were playing some pretty good defense. The puck just wasn't going in the net. And even for the Lightning, that could be a problem at time, for any team, right? It just happens. You get dry spells. So I think that there's no reason to panic. So what we saw last night, though, I thought was something that they had to have. Just get off the schneid, and the way they won that game. Oh, my God. What a goal. I think we have it here. Can we show it, Timmy? Let's pop it up. Let's hear the call.
Fired back in by Hedman. What a chance that was. Now final minute of regulation. Centering pass. Here, Paul.
Oh, my.
Brandon Point. 3-2.
Pretty good.
When you get Brian Engblom saying, oh, my.
Right. Here, let's watch the replay here.
Superstar players can do. He's out of that one. They get it out. Fired back in by Hedman.
Just let it roll.
What a chance that was. Now final minute of regulation.
Kucherov.
Centering pass. Here's Point.
Oh, my.
Point.
Yeah.
All right. Take us through that, Erik.
Loving one.
What'd you see?
Wow. Well, I did not get to see it live, right? Because I've got to be down in the hallway for the walk-off. In case they win, I get to tie games, so I've got to be in the hallway. So I'm listening to Mish and Phil on the call, and it wasn't until I got back to my computer that I got to watch that goal. And, I mean, it's
sick.
From the pass by Kucherov, of course, it always starts with Kucherov. To just throw that puck to an area. And like you can see the split second of Brayden Point's recognition of what could happen. Mm-hmm. And he even said it. He said, I've learned with Nikita that even if you don't think he sees you, he sees you. Mm-hmm. So that instant recognition from Brayden to take those quick 2 strides to get to that area of the ice, and then for Cooch to find him. And then I marvel. I've been covering this team and this league for a quarter century. I marvel at hockey players to be able to do that move instantaneously based almost solely on instinct, and to pull it off at that high rate of speed on 2 inches of steel under your feet is just ridiculous. Crazy. I mean, that goal, that's one of the best goals I've seen in this franchise's history.
I agree.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Last night on the postgame show.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the replay because
well, it's funny because you went the whole post-game show talking about it and hearing other people talk about it, and you're probably like, oh, it's probably a good pass, and then you saw it and you're like, oh yeah, okay, now I get it. To put it on his tape, to put it on Brayden Point's tape as he's moving down the slot perfectly, and so he can handle it and then roof it, and then Point. Let's not give him a short shrift here. He pirouettes, controlling the puck at high speed, pirouettes and stops, and roofs it over the goalie. I mean, the fuck is that? Like, how do you?
Hey, JP, breaking news. Hockey players are good at hockey.
Oh, but
this is on another level.
This is another level. I mean, CMB crisp. That's like, is that AI? What is that?
You know what's even crazier is to hear Braden Point talk about it like it's no big deal.
Yeah,
because I asked him. I said, when that happens, is that like, is that organic or is that going through your mind as you receive the puck? And he goes, it was just a good play by Gensel to rim the puck around. Great pass by Nikita. I'm just hoping to control it and get it on net. Like, come on, man.
He's not. I know he's not like coming down the slot going, "Oh, I'm going to pirouette." No, it is organic. It's a great word that you use, but you have to have the ability to do it. First of all, then you have to have the creativity in your mind, and then have the the presence and of course the confidence to know that Kucherov's going to get you the puck in that scoring area, man. It's just, and then when you add the context to it, it's not the Stanley Cup final. I get it, but 4 losses in a row. Carolina, you had a 2-1 lead. Carolina just, tied the game, and then they almost went ahead on a deflected shot that Vasi makes a ridiculous pad save on. I don't know how he reacted to that as it changed directions, and that was about 3 minutes earlier. So you figure, everybody in the building's going, okay, we're going to overtime, and then that happens, and it's just like, holy crap, the place went bonkers.
Yeah, I even wrote this. By the way, I call them Gozer the Destroyer. So if anybody wants to go to lightinginsider.com and read about how Braden Point is Gozer the Destroyer.
Wait. I know that reference from somewhere, but I have to catch me up.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yes.
Ghostbusters.
Okay, thank you. Gozer, yeah, okay, great. Thank you.
But I did write in there too that this, under the circumstances, this might have been the best possible way for them to break out of this losing streak.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of challenges going into this game. Obviously, the 4-game losing streak is one of them. We're not accustomed to seeing this team too often go through these type of streaks. And it's not because of poor play. They just weren't winning games. And then you're coming back from California. You fly on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And you leave Southern California at 9:30. But you don't land here back in Tampa till 5 o'clock. And then you get to turn around and, this is the makeup game from Hurricane Milton canceling the original season or home opener. Mm-hmm. So this is a makeup game that they kind of sandwiched into what's already the busiest month on the Lightning schedule. And then you have to face Carolina, who they have your attention to begin with. I mean, the losing streak has your attention for sure, but Carolina's a team, they are in your face. They will make you work. They will make you think. They speed up your execution because they're right on top of you and they force you into bad plays. So your focus has to be as high as it can get, for a January regular season game. And then you can't hold the lead twice. And especially when it happens in the third period, because that's usually when your legs start to go in a game like this. So they had to face that adversity in game. And then to win it in a dramatic fashion on a goal of the year candidate, mm-hmm. it just felt like if you could script how you were going to come out of a losing streak, that might have been the type of script you need, because the way you won that game, you feel good about how you did it if you're the Lightning. And, and that's where that defending, and you're going to hear this a lot, especially as we start to head towards the second half of the schedule here, when games get tighter and usually you're not scoring 8 goals in a game like Tampa Bay's done 4 times this year. You're going to have to defend. And similar to what we saw this team when they were winning championships, and I'm not trying to be foreboding or anything, but they had to learn to defend better because they had the offense that could score goals. They have an offense that can score some goals. So you have to be able to defend and wait for your moments and not force moments. So that game last night, I think, kind of checked all of those boxes in terms of a formula that you're going to have in the second half of the season.
Erik, this team wins yet another game when scoring 3 or more goals. They're 21-5-1 now. What is it about this defense that makes that number 3 so magic for this team this year?
Well, John Cooper says it all the time. If you're going to allow 0, 1, or 2 goals, you've got a pretty good chance to win the game. You start to give up 3, now you're getting 50-50, and 4 and beyond, you're making it tough on yourself. So that's why I think 3 is the magic number, as De La Soul once told us.
Wow.
Very nice.
Because you look at like the inverse of that is their record when scoring 2 or fewer is 0-10-1. So most of their losses this year have come when they failed to produce offense. And look, they're not going to be the top defensive team in the league. It's just not in their DNA with some of the players they have, and that's okay. But you can still defend, and when you get Andre Vasilevsky, you know that as long as you're not giving up the odd mans and you're not giving up grade A's in the slot, then you're going to have a chance to win the game. So I think this year it's the 5-on-5 play where their offense has kind of made the difference and why that number
so much
3
better.
is there. Because last year they relied a lot on the power play, and their power play was a 30% power play for the regular season. And, and certainly we know the absence of Stammer, and that changes your power play and everything else. But I just think the way that they've taken the approach to playing 5-on-5 has been the difference for this team this year. And that's why I think that 3 is even more impressive when they haven't had to rely on the power play. I know the power play and special teams has won them some games. They got a big power play goal last night from Nick Hall.
Yeah. Second unit.
So it's come in and it makes a difference, but when did I write this? Through 34 games, 35 games, when I looked it up, last year at 5-on-5, they were minus 11 goal differential. This year through the same mark, they were like plus 24.
Wow.
So that's a 30 goal
right there.
difference.
Yeah, that's huge.
In your goal differential 5-on-5. So they've just taken that approach, and I think it's helped their offense. It's crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Because, Chief says it all the time. Good offense comes from playing good defense.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways, when this team has puck possession, and the old adage too, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And if
Absolutely.
you keep the puck away from the other team, well, that's defense too, even though you're in an offensive and attacking position.
Yeah.
So I just think that's where it comes from, and it's just kind of freed their mind a little bit. Anthony Cirelli is scoring at a pace we've never seen him score. That's helped.
Yep.
But you got 6 guys now. I think Nick Paul became the 6th guy to hit the 10-goal mark last night before you've hit the 41 game mark. So
that's impressive.
I just think the scoring has come from their defense, and their defense has opened up their offense. It's kind of backwards thinking a little bit, but as I look at the team, that's kind of what I see and what's taking place this year.
Vasilevsky records win number 310 in his career. He ties Kari Lehtinen for 33rd on the career wins list. So in that 3-goal win stat we just talked about, obviously Vazzy's got a lot to do with that too.
Oh,
What's funny is we're talking about this. Did he just turn 30? Vassy? He's still 29.
Like that. He's 20. He's 30. He's definitely 30.
Yeah.
He's a 2012 draft pick. So
he's 25th. Yeah, he turned 30.
Yeah, see, he's in his prime, and we were already talking about career numbers. We started already clicking those off, so he's got a long way to go. Erik Erlendsson joining us here from Lightning Insider. By the way, got to get your subscription to lightninginsider.com. Tell you how a little bit later on. This is also a game that reinforces the John Cooper mantra. He has to be tickled pink that they won a game like this. Defending, just keep doing it. It'll come, and it happened. We've seen a lot of that this year. Your stat right there on 5-on-5. I think is, through 41 games now, as we approach the midpoint, that stat right there is proof positive that all that Julien Brisebois did in this offseason was gold. It's hard to turn around a team that much in 1 year when you have basically zero salary cap room to do it. And he found a way to do it. So I just want a tip of the cap there, but then say, what's next? What's to add? What do you see in the first 41 that needs to be added? My good friend Jack Hannon, big Lightning fan, says we need a tough guy. We need a tough guy. We're getting pushed around too much. Our guys are being taken advantage of. Your thoughts?
I still think that's overrated. That's
what I told Jack, by the way.
Brian Engblom, of course, he says it all the time. Intimidation is part of the game. There's no doubt about it. But you've got, I mean, Eric Chernak is a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ryan McDonough is a big guy. Like what do you define as physical? Like, there's different ways to define. Brandon Hagel to me is a physical forward. He's not big, but he's a physical forward. Anthony Cirelli is a physical forward. Like, you can't push this team around. Like, what was the game? There was a game recently, and it escapes me off the top of my head. Oh, well, the Panthers. The Panthers tried to push Tampa Bay around. I mean, because, and look, Sam Bennett's not a big guy.
Right.
But he tries to push people around.
Pain in the ass,
yeah. He has that part of his game, right? And they were here, the back-to-backs right before Christmas, where the Panthers were the Lightning got beat up that game. And not because of how hard and physical the Panthers were. I mean, there were a couple of hits to them. I mean, Connor Geekie went into the end boards, and Nick Paul took a stick to the face, and so they got quote unquote beat up physically. And what did they do the next night? They went down to Florida and said, "You're not going to push us around."
Right.
And went down there and beat them 4-0.
Mm-hmm. So,
to me, if we're looking down the road, a depth forward similar to last year when they picked up Anthony Duclair.
Yeah.
Connor Geekie's fit in pretty well on that second line with Hagel and Cirelli, but he's 20 years old,
right?
And he's still a rookie. Can he be that missing piece in the top six? So do you need a middle 9 guy or a middle 6 guy that can be between a second and a third line? Gage Gonsalves, I love his game, but he's in his first year.
He's young, yeah,
and he's struggling offensively for a guy who can put up some offensive numbers. He's not shooting the puck enough, and there's a reason why they've kind of moved him to the fourth line here for the past couple of games. So I look at that area. Can you bring in a middle 6 guy that can kind of float in between, similar to what Duclair did last year? And then depth defense. I know they've been missing J.J. Moser. You won't see him probably till after the Four Nations break, so until the end of February. But you look at sometimes when key goals are scored against, tends to be when it's Lilleberg and Perbix on the ice. So can you shore up that third pairing on defense? So those are the things I look at, and I still think a quote-unquote tough guy is an overrated element. I mean, the Maple Leafs have a tough guy in Ryan Reeves. He can't get in the lineup.
Right.
Because he can't, you have, if you're going to be that quote-unquote tough guy, you have to bring more than that to your game. You have to be able to skate and move and play the game and play defense and defend. So it's not, at that point, you're just getting a player who plays tough. You're not getting a tough player, if that sort of makes any sense. Look, the Lightning had it in Tanner Jeannot, and everybody hated him.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Everybody wanted him out of here as quick.
And how
as
did that help your
possible.
team 5-on-5? It didn't really.
So if you're talking a physical player, it has to be the right kind of physical player, and that
totally agree.
Other teams are looking for that too. Just like every team is looking for a right-hand shot defenseman and scoring depth in middle. I mean, everybody's looking for the same thing that's in a playoff situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that experienced guy that's been there before in the playoffs, and there's plenty of them around, but you got to get a guy that's going to be the right fit. And I think and then to my point, I trust JBB. He will make the right moves. He really knows how to find the right fit. No, he really doesn't.
Right. And, he kind of missed on Jeannot, right? He gave up a lot to bring in Tanner Jeannot, and it didn't work out. Not every move a general manager makes is going to move out. But do you hear anybody talking about what they gave up for Brandon Hagel anymore?
No.
Gave up 2 players and a couple of first-round draft picks, and it was like, oh, you overpaid. Boy, Brandon Hagel looks awful good in the Lightning jersey, doesn't he?
And a great quality for a general manager is, and it's rare, is to admit your mistakes and move on as quickly as possible. And because that just, you're not doubling down. And you see guys do that all the time because they want to be right. They want to be right. Just admit it, move on, and make your team better. And that's exactly what he did. All right, so coming up, we got the Bruins here on Thursday, who just got smoked last night by Edmonton 4-0. They're in a bit of trouble. I don't know. They're not. It's not the Rangers level yet, but it's not great. What do you think of this matchup?
I think it's a big matchup, just in terms of, it's still hard to believe the Bruins have played 5 more games than the Lightning.
Yeah, it's weird.
And the Lightning are just a point behind. So you talk about those proverbial division games. You if you're able to win this game in regulation, it's the proverbial 4-point swing, right? It's the cliche. It's a 4-point game, and it is. But, you just mentioned it. It's been a tough year for the Bruins. They've fired Jim Montgomery, who just led them to 65 wins just a couple of seasons ago. If you can beat the Bruins, you might bury the Bruins.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't have the scoring depth. Right, they've lost a lot of players, and Louis DeBrusk couldn't get out of there fast enough last year. Asked for a trade, stuck around, but as soon as he was a free agent, he was gone. So they've lost their scoring depth. Charlie McAvoy has taken on a lot of responsibility, and he's had a tough year. They traded Linus Ullmark, and he had the Jeremy Swayman holdout situation in camp that was a distraction, and so he's making number one money and not putting up number one numbers right now for Boston. So there's a lot of you're right. It's not team turmoil like the Rangers are, but their play on the ice it's been inconsistent. They had a little boost, in the new coach boost that they had, but the Bruins are not the Bruins of old, and so this is a game where coming off of last night, find some momentum, build off of that. That's why I think there was the almost scripted perfectly way to win that game last night to go into this game Thursday against the Bruins, because you're right back out on the road this weekend for 3 more. It's like I said, the schedule this month is tough.
Weird schedule.
It's another team that's going to have your attention right away, similar to what Carolina does, because we know over the past 8 years or so, this little rivalry that's sparked up, that anytime you see that spoked B on the jersey, it gets you up a little bit. So I think that's going to be the case tomorrow night. And, you can't ever say how the outcome is going to go, but you might have a say in how you can get to the outcome. And I think the Lightning will have a say in how they get to the income.
All right, Eric, tell everybody how they can get lightninginsider.com, a must for all Bolts fans.
Yeah, well, you see the site right there, lightninginsider.com. There's 2 ways to sign up. There's a monthly subscription for $4.99, and there's a yearly subscription for $40. And as we've mapped it out before, that's less than going down to Starbucks and running through the drive-through per month for a yearly subscription. So yeah, need all the support I can get. By the way, if people want to go to the Lightning website, and if they're not familiar with my writing, besides if I couldn't get you to read the Gozer reference,
come on,
the Lightning, the Lightning have something that they just started called Bolts Blog, where they're kind of highlighting non-traditional media in some ways.
Oh, nice.
They kicked off this program on Sunday, so if you go to the Lightning website and find Bolts Blog, you'll see my argument, my defense of Lightning head coach John Cooper, who still has not won a Jack Adams and might never win one as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I lay all that out and explain why that's the case and why that needs to change, and this should be the year he does it, even though he won't.
You know what? He'll get a Lifetime Achievement Award before he wins a Jack Adams.
You're right. You're right. Because the way things are going, he might spend his entire career here.
Well, I hope so. I could count up the amount of coaches that have been fired in the you could now. Like in the league this year.
Yeah.
And how long he's been here? What, 13 years now, right?
Yeah, because as I lay out, this award, the voting pool bases it on expectations. Oh, well, you weren't expected to be in the playoffs? Hey, great job. We're going to give you this award.
Yeah.
Whereas the Lightning, well, they expect to make the playoffs. So the only way coaches get noticed in those situations is if they don't meet expectations or you come in below expectations. So that's why it's difficult for a coach in Coop's situation to break through the voting thought process in that. But if any year where they're not setting records, because he has been a finalist twice, if there's any year that they're going to be able to, he could break through that mold, it would be this year, but he won't.
But at some point, do they not just look around and go, the Lightning have been by far the best team of the last decade. Like, it's not even close. When you start looking at wins and playoff wins, and all, like, it's not even close.
No,
and
not.
Like, what shouldn't we just, like, for the last 10-year guys, should we just have a come on? Like, who votes on this stuff? The writers?
No, the Jack Adams is the broadcasters.
The broadcasters.
So the broadcasters vote on that one. It's
come on. Guys.
Again, you just look at the history of it. It's Bruce Boudreau, the year he won it, is when he took over the Capitals and led them to the playoffs after some disappointments. And Rick Tocchet last year won it because Vancouver was out of the playoffs the year before. They had 50 wins last year. So that's how a lot of the voters look at the award. When
it's
a
the most
lot of people
improved
tell you,
team award.
yeah, right, and a lot of people will tell you sometimes it's harder in Coop's situation to coach some of these same guys year after year after year.
Absolutely, consistent success is the hardest thing in professional sports. It's without question. So, all right.
Yeah. So go read that. That's my defense of John Cooper.
All right. I will. Thanks, E. Appreciate it, partner. See you Thursday.
Bye, boys. Be well.
Thanks.
See ya.
Actually, I always say I'll see you Thursday. I never see him. We're different places of the rink all the time. He's in the press box.
You know, by that definition, this show should win a Jack Adams award every single day because we are expected to fail every day.
And we do often. Oh my God. Yeah, we should. All right. We will take a break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll find out what the hell's going on at Jacksonville. The Jags are a mess. They are an absolute mess. My good old friend Rick Ballou, who's our longtime sideline reporter, will join us next and tell us what the hell's going on in Jacksonville. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's that time again. First of the year, first part of the year, you want to get all your insurance shopped around. You'll be getting a lot of these bills right after the New Year's, homeowners, auto, all this stuff. Let them shop it around and find you a better company. Make sure you are up to date on your insurance and you're fully covered. 40% of people are not fully covered in their home or auto. So you got to get that perspective as well. They'll help you with all that. It's very, very important, as we all found out through the two hurricanes. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Back in 3 with Rick Ballou.
Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Yes, we have some updates on Bucs injuries. There are people that are out there. Jamel Dean and Cade and Winfield were late to practice, but they're out there. Troy Hill returning to practice. What's up with Jamel Dean? We'll find out. Do you have Rick on there, partner? All right, cool.
Yeah,
Let's go to Jacksonville. Man, I've known for a very long time, and the best on the Jacksonville Jaguars, longtime sideline reporter, 1010 XL's Rick Ballou. What's up, Rick? How are you, partner?
JP, how are things in a playoff town?
Well, let me tell you, Rick. Let me tell you all about it. We got great hockey. We got shit baseball. We got a shit baseball owner, but we got a great football team. It's fun. It's 5 years in a row. Let me just rub it in. It's 5 years in a row now that we've been doing this. If you can believe that. So yeah, it you know what works: consistency and coaching, good GMing. Good ownership. Yeah, all that tends to work. And being in a crappy division doesn't hurt either. Let's just be honest. In the worst division, but yeah, it all adds up to a little bit of playoff football. So keep your grubby hands off our freaking offensive coordinator, will you? With Liam Coen. What's going on over there, Jackson?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about him. He's only 39. I know he's gone back and forth between Kentucky and the Los Angeles Rams, but I mean, he's the hot guy right now. And you know how things run in circles. 2 years ago, the hot guy was Brian Daboll, and he left with his GM from Buffalo to New York, and looks like he's going to survive this because he doesn't have a quarterback. But, the shelf life isn't always all that long for offensive coordinators. I remember 3 years ago in pursuit of the next head coach, there was all this talk that Byron Leftwich was going to come here back to Jacksonville.
Did he turn the job down? Did he turn it down?
At the time, the story was he wouldn't work with Trent Baalke, but he did a podcast or something like a week ago and said that was not true, that he was not offered the job.
Okay.
So,
yeah. What do you believe?
And I know he interviewed yesterday in New England, but, he's not on the short list right now. The Jaguars have identified 8 coaches that they'll begin to, virtually interview, and then they'll guys who are no longer in the playoffs or employed, they'll start to bring in.
And on that list, who do you like the most? Liam Coen?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'll be the first to say it, and I got hammered here for it, but I wanted Belichick. I wanted Belichick for selfish reasons. I mean, you and I covered Bobby Bowden. I went through Tom Coughlin. I just can't imagine what it would have been like for a couple of years to cover the great Bill Belichick. I mean, being from Boston,
not good for you.
It would have been. Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun, but that's not going to happen. Although some people believe that with his contract, that if he's offered a job, he would still take it. Post June 1st, we'll see. But right now, the one who makes the most sense is really Ben Johnson. He's the most coveted guy here in the city, and the thinking is that if he came, he would come with Mark Brunell, who's one of the favorite sons here, and Mark Brunell's done a fantastic job as the quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach in Detroit. He'd come here as an offensive coordinator, but he wouldn't call plays. It would be Ben Johnson calling plays. Yeah. That's the biggest part of all of this, as far as I am concerned, is that you have to get an offensive mind, but you have to get an offensive mind who's going to be the head coach, who's going to call plays, because you don't want a Liam Coen situation here in a couple of years. You want an Andy Reid with Pat Mahomes. You want a Sean Payton with Bo Nix. That is what Trevor Lawrence needs. He needs the right guy who's the head coach who also calls plays.
I would agree with that. And will Ben Johnson, obviously he's highly coveted. I would think that, I don't know what the Patriots are going to do. Maybe that's already a done deal with Vrabel. I don't know what the Jets are going to do. I mean, I would think they'd be highly interested in Ben Johnson. The Raiders, I mean, are the Jags the most attractive spot for Ben Johnson? Because he can pretty much have his pick, right?
I think they're the most attractive job because they have the quarterback. Now, they have a quarterback who has issues. They have a quarterback that you got to fix and take to the next level. But I'm not convinced at all that he wants to come here and work with Trent Baalke. There have been those reports that have been out there. And, the flip side is I don't necessarily believe that Baalke is going to sign off on Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson reportedly does not interview well, which is really a disappointment, because it's almost like, to me, for Ben Johnson, he's the number one candidate. He should be able to pick his job. I mean, it really
Right.
shouldn't even be an interview. It should be an offer,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I'm concerned. And, Trent Baalke, I don't think is going to give Ben Johnson the go, because it's still going to be a Shad Khan pick. Shad Khan picked Urban Meyer. Shad Khan picked Doug Peterson. Trent Baalke is very involved, but it's still going to be the team owner who ends up picking the next head coach.
Why is Baalke still there? What kind of naked photos does he have of Shad Khan? Like how does he still have a gig?
It is so mystifying. I mean, I can't even begin to explain this. I mean, he's 25 and 43 in his 4 years as general manager. He's one of only 2 GMs in the NFL who's gotten a second opportunity. You know how this job is. I mean, you're basically one and done in the front office. And, forever, you and I have been doing this forever. A quarterback's got to go. A coach has got to go. A GM has got to go. There's always some that will find a reason to say, well, wait a minute, it's not his fault. This isn't happening. The coach didn't have a quarterback. The quarterback didn't have this is unanimous. I mean, I have thrown this out, and with all my social media, all the feedback that I got, you cannot find one person, not one person in this city who says Trent Baalke should still be the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is unanimous. Yet Shad Khan, Baalke has Shad Khan's ear. Baalke is the absolute favorite of Shad Khan, who is so in disconnect with this franchise. It's he's so out of touch, and it's just amazing because he's a brilliant man. I mean, he's worth $12.2 billion. Everything he touches turns to gold, except for this franchise.
Rick Ballou joining us from 1010XL in Jacksonville. So, when it comes to Liam Coen, I don't know. I think he's going to kind of have his pick of jobs as well. One of them might be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers job. I mean, we have a situation here, Rick, which you've been in this business a long time, right? And I absolutely respect and adore Todd Bowles as a man. I really do. I love the man. But as a coach, he has a lot of shortcomings, but he keeps winning in terms of divisions. Now, it's all in context. But this entire fan base now is like, they're not even talking about the playoffs. This entire show and every one of the comments is, we can't lose Liam Coen. We can't lose Liam Coen. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I feel disrespectful to Todd even bringing it up at this point. We're in the playoffs. We should be talking about the Commanders. But that's all this fan base wants to talk about is we can't lose Liam Coen. So it's a weird, it's a little weird. But I also kind of agree. The Bulls defense has not been great. His game management has not been great. I would somewhat argue that they win despite the defense because this offense is absolutely tremendous. It's top 5 in every category, and Baker Mayfield has obviously had an unbelievable resurgence, even better than he did last year under Canales. And Liam Cohen's a huge reason why. You watch the games, you see the creativity, the execution, it's all there. And he's going to be on the top of the list of everybody, including the Jags. So it's like, how do we go forward? But it's a weird juxtaposition. I wonder how you would handle that in Jacksonville as a host. How would you handle that?
Well, we've seen guys forced out. We saw it with Bobby Bowden and Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
We've seen situations like that, but that was coming towards the end, and Bobby and Florida State wasn't the same that they were, during all those years prior to that. This is fascinating to me. You really believe that if they lose to the Commanders, that he could be out of a job?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Really?
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. See,
if they lost to the Panthers, they lost to the Panthers last year and lost the division, he would have been fired, in my opinion.
Wow.
And
wow.
Based on sourcing as well. And they lost to the Saints this past weekend, I think he would be fired, and that almost happened.
Tell you what, I'd love to have that topic here. Something fresh, something new, something
wouldn't.
That's positive. Instead of talking about a 4-13 football team, instead of talking about a team that's had 3 winning years and 13 seasons of ownership under Shad Khan, a guy who's 67 and 150 It's the losingest percentage of any team sport if you include the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the National Hockey League, just over 30%. And he seems to be okay with it. And it's just amazing to me. So, boy, I mean, you talk about being in a real good situation. I wasn't aware of that with Liam Coen.
Yeah.
I mean, this is juicy.
Yeah, there's precedent. There's precedent for it. I mean, Tony Dungy went to the playoffs 4 out of 6 years. In the last 2 years, he went to the playoffs, and they fired him for John Gruden, and that worked out. Yeah. That worked out. They didn't fire him for John Gruden, but they knew that they had to move on. And I think the Glazers are smart enough to realize that they can replace Todd Bowles, finding an offensive coordinator like Liam Coen, and he's got Baker Mayfield, and these two work so good together. And they've been, they had a previous relationship in LA quickly, little dalliance, if you will. And so that all came together very nicely. And now it's just, I mean, it's a budding romance. It's fantastic. And, Baker's here, he could be here with Liam for the next 6 to 8 years. You could have a Reed, kind of Mahomes type thing. Not to that level. I'm not going crazy, but that's what wins in this league is, consistency, continuity, especially on the offensive side. So the Glazers are not stupid. You don't make billions of dollars like they do being stupid. And I think it's a tough decision, but there's precedent for it. And I think, it may or may not happen. Again, completely disrespectful to Todd Bowles to be talking about this during this week, but it is what it is. Can't run from it. It's the elephant in the room.
That's that's the gig. I mean, that's the profession. I watched a ton of Tampa football this year. My girlfriend's an Oklahoma grad, so we watch every week, whether it's live or on tape, and I've been very impressed. But just that whole thing going back and forth between Kentucky and Los Angeles. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know a great deal about Liam Coen. I've watched him this year, but what makes him so special? What makes him that after really one dominant year, this is like a can't miss head coach in waiting?
Well, as you know, there are no can't misses. There's plenty of misses from can't miss guys, as we know. And I made this argument yesterday that Baker Mayfield is as much to blame for this offense as Liam Coen. Baker Mayfield's special. I have been absent. I'd love to get your take on it since you watched it all. What he did this last game, the 3rd and 14 run, the 3rd and 6 run, the throw to Jalen McMillan on the 4th down, and the subsequent touchdown. I mean, this is stuff that I didn't even see Brady do. It's amazing. The dude he's got a cannon for an arm, and his intangibles are off the freaking charts. He has taken this town by storm. He's at every charity event. People love him. He's a blue collar guy. He fits the culture of Tampa Bay perfectly. The guys freaking love him. And when you got a guy like this that encompasses all those qualities, it just makes your team run. He's your leader. As Tristan Wirfs told me last year when they're making a run, it's all about 6, man. We love him. He's our heartbeat. And when that's the dynamic, you saw it with FSU and Jordan Travis. It just uplifts the entire team. It just becomes something that transcends just the complement of talent that you have. And you've seen it many times, not in Jacksonville, but you've seen it. And it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's such a competitor. Yeah. That's the thing that really sticks out. And as talented and as great as Brady was, the best ever, he was the most fierce competitor. But I put Baker right up there next to Tom Brady when it comes to the competitive nature of the willingness to win. And that run was simply spectacular. And he has been a lot of fun to watch. Every once in a while there may be a fumble. He tries to make a play. That's been the biggest problem for Trevor Lawrence, is that he tries to do things that you can't get away with that you did in high school and college. And that's been a talking point here over the last couple of years for Trevor when he was healthy. Of course, Trevor's missed 8 games and has had 7 injuries in the last 2 years. But the Baker story is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, what's there not to love about watching this guy? And I love second opportunities. That's the other part of this that really makes it intriguing. So I mean, boy, all of a sudden you got my attention now on this, because I've heard a lot of good things about Todd Bowles. you know,
Great,
I
dude.
You want him?
Yeah.
Might work out
keep,
a
your
trade.
hands off, keep your hands off Liam and just take Todd. I mean, come on. He's a 3-time division winner, for God's sakes. You ain't ever sniffed that. Jesus, come get him.
Ray Perkins' son is ahead of technology, video, all that stuff here. He's actually been here all 30 years.
Oh, wow.
With the Jaguars, and he's close with Lane Kiffin. And you know, Monty Kiffin was here for a year. I got to know Monty. He was here for a year as an advisor. Dude. And at his funeral, he told me that he said, "I've never been so impressed in Todd Bowles as a man." He stood up at the funeral and he said some things, and he says, "What an incredible man!" And I looked at him and I was kind of like, "Really?" Because every time they show him on the sideline, his lips never move.
Yeah.
He almost looks like a mime on the sideline. I mean, he lets others do the coaching. He doesn't talk, and he's like, this guy, you know, I am so impressed with him. So, you know, I think to answer your question, if they do make a decision there, I'd be shocked if Todd Bowles doesn't find a job somewhere this year.
I don't know. Well, it would be interesting. No question. It would be interesting. It would be interesting. And again, I think
he would be more likely to find a coordinator's position than he would a head coaching job. But I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at you guys just relishing in it, winning Stanley Cups, and you know, I mean, you got the best baseball stadium, and I mean, who needs Fenway and Wrigley when you got the Trop,
the topless crop trop? We got the crop trop now. Because
now you're firing playoff coaches, for crying out loud. I mean,
it's an embarrassment of riches. Hey, well, I gotta get your take. Give me, I don't know if you got to go or anything. Give me like a minute or so on FSU. What the hell happened and where they're at now? I like what they've done. You know, you never know in this crazy world of college football now if any of it's going to work. But last year was just something I've never witnessed in college football. I've been covering for 40 years, never seen anything like it. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, it was just horrible. I mean, it was just so bad. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong, and you know, I have a major distaste right now for the product. And I've always been one of those guys who believes that regardless of the situation, you never bite the hand that feeds you. Mm-hmm. Boy, college football right now is awful.
It's a disaster.
It just sucks. I mean, to me, it was all about knowing the 25 recruits that came in and, you know, worrying about if a junior was going to leave early for the NFL draft and building your roster and knowing where they came from and knowing who they're going to replace. And, you know, today with the Wild Wild West and the NIL and just the feeling that these kids, man, it's like they don't care about the school anymore. They'll plant a flag on a Saturday and then transfer out on a Monday. And you know, it's like, what the hell is going on in this world? So I'm down because FSU was clearly down. I say it, and I've said it since not playing a prevent defense against Jacksonville State. I've said it since going forward on fourth down from their own 32 in the first quarter against Notre Dame. I don't think Mike Norvell's the guy. I don't think Mike Norvell is a good in-game coach. I don't think Mike Norvell is a good high school recruiter. He obviously made changes. He gave back some money. This Florida State fan base, it feels like many of them have already forgiven. You know, they're ready to get back on track here. And, you know, they're dying for a winner. I hope I'm wrong, but my confidence level right now is that he's not going to be able to fix this in Tallahassee. And that I think we're a year, maybe 2 years away from them having to go out again and find another coach.
Wow.
Yeah, you may not be wrong. I've been trying to hang on to Norvell, but I totally agree with you about game coaching. It's wacky. It's bizarre at times.
I mean, the dude, they practice twice a year here in Jacksonville. And 2 years ago, Jared Verse just didn't practice. Yeah, he was like the guy from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. he's on the sideline, and it's right after practice. And I asked why Jared Verse didn't practice, and he starts screaming. He's like, "We have a rule that you're not allowed to ask about injuries or why guys don't play or practice." And I'm like, I've been doing this for 30 freaking years. I have never heard of any post game or practice when a head coach talks that you're not allowed to ask why a guy didn't play or practice.
I know you're not allowed to talk to the player, but you should be able to ask the head coach what's going on.
So listen, I just don't think he's it. I just don't. And believe me, I want to be wrong. I want him to go back and, 2 years ago was fantastic. I totally want to be wrong on this, but I just don't think Mike Norvell's the guy.
Yeah. All right. Rick Ballou, tell everybody how they can find your show. I'm sure it's available on the World Wide Web somewhere.
Absolutely. 6 to 8 every night, 10:10 on the AM, 92.5 on the FM. Always on 92.5. Every once in a while on 10:10, we'll run a Gator hoop game or something like that. But always on 92.5 on the FM. And it comes in crystal clear there out at River Hills. My dad on the 6th hole listens every night.
Right.
My brother on the 16th hole, who plays with Peter Tom Willis and company. Every once in a while, they may listen. So
finally, we got some quality terrestrial radio in Tampa. I didn't know. Whoa, great. 92 points. Goddamn right.
What's that chick's name? I think her name is Alexa. You can pick it up there. And, you can get on the app as well.
I kicked that whore out of my house a long time ago. She's too nosy.
Yeah, she lives with me now. She lives with me now.
Nosy bitch.
Next time I'm in town, JP. We got to play around right now.
Absolutely. I'll have you out at the club, man. I belong to some swanky club. Come on down.
He does.
Oh, man, I love that. I tell you what, it is so cold here in Jacksonville. If it doesn't start to warm up around here, I'm going to have to move to Florida.
That's right. Get out of Georgia. That's where you live. All right, Rick. Love you, brother. Always great to chat with you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Great Rick Ballou there.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, there you go. Some quality terrestrial radio in Tampa.
There he goes. 92.5. Go check it out.
92.5.
After you're done with FanStream Sports, which you should never be.
That's right. You should never be. You should never be.
Yeah.
You want to sit through them 10-minute breaks, you go right ahead.
Hey, I tell everybody, stream us and love us. That's all I'm saying. Stream us and love us.
Yeah. All right. Do we need to do another, how about we say a huge thank you to the Jeeves Law Group, our lovely sponsor here, and also our studio sponsor. Love the Jeeves Law Group. Go to their website, jeeveslawgroup.com, BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo doing the concierge medicine thing now. So if you're not happy with the response you get from your doctor, and who the hell is these days, do you even know who your doctor is?
I don't have one.
BAMMC.com. Get a concierge doctor. It's more affordable than you think. Let them direct you. And anytime you need a script, you just text them or call them. Something's wrong. I got a runny nose, whatever. You don't have to wait to get an appointment. You don't have to go anywhere. Telemedicine, all that good stuff. Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Of course, Italiano Insurance. By the way, happy birthday to Jeff Italiano. 39 again. That dude just keeps getting younger. Wow. I don't know what the hell's he. Well, I do know what he's doing. Same thing I'm doing.
Going to see Chris.
That's right. Or my good buddy Mike Heim as well, his doctor from a long time ago. Mike does a great job as well. And Heim Regenerative Medicine. We'll give him a shout out. So Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Happy birthday to you, Jeff. Love you, brother. Golden Diamond Source, 50% up to 50% off everything in the post-holiday sale. Go check that out as well. And third generation plumbing and AC. Any issues there, go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com and the great Cafe Paradiso. You know what I'm going to eat right after this show is over?
What?
There's another lasagna he brought me.
Going to Taco Bell.
Italian bread. Yeah,
Jersey. I may do Jersey Mike's for lunch today.
Oh, a good call. But and then he brought me that I don't even know the name of it, but it's the Borella, the cheese with the roasted vegetables. Cafe Paradiso. If you didn't hear the new spot is awesome. Good job with the music on that, by the way. All right, so we got a couple minutes left. Sergio, by the way, you guys were fighting in the comments today, which I do not condone that at all, because I love you all. But they ironed it out. Did you see? I was worried. They ironed it out. They ironed out their differences.
I didn't see.
In a respectful manner. So well done, Sergio.
It was too negative for me to try to keep up with all the comments. I was feeling bad about myself.
Well, Sergio, stick around next year, because I think Godwin's coming back. Scott Reynolds wrote a great piece on that on Pewter Report. Check that out. But yeah, we've talked about that. The injury this year may actually help the Bucs win a Super Bowl next year. because Godwin was on his way to leading the league in receiving and going to be a free agent. So we wouldn't have been able to afford him at that point. So coming off the injury, I think we will be able to.
CJP, Todd Bowles did the team a favor by keeping him out there against the Ravens. And all you did was bash him for it.
See, I'm an idiot. I don't recognize the genius. I don't recognize the genius. I just, he's like, his chess moves are so far ahead of me. I'm an idiot. I can't keep up with him. Let's just be honest. Nathan says, no fighting for me, just inviting people to lot 12 for our tailgate party. We got Sunday night football, so I'm definitely going to head on over there and get some of that jumbo. Are we making jambalaya this week, Nathan? Are we?
I think they're expecting you to bring Cafe Paradiso.
Man, I don't think they cater.
I may have to fly out for that.
Michael LaRue, good morning to you, says the Jet scouting department is the Madden 25 ratings.
Yeah. True story.
It's laughable, but it's true. All right, what did we not get to today? Drew Rasmussen signs with the Rays. It is a $2.5 million deal this year, and then 5.5 next year. 3 arm surgeries, by the way. But when he's pitched, he's been phenomenal. Really, really good. And then $8 million team option in 27, which they'll probably not pay because they don't pay. So it's basically a 2-year, $8 million deal for Drew Rasmussen, which is pretty, that's right in the Rays alley right there.
No.
By the way, Jackson Suber, friend of the program, Palmacia member, will play in his first PGA Tour event this week in the Sony. Not his first tour event, sorry. First tour event since he got his card. He's played in some as a sponsor's exemption, the Valspar. Of course, played in the U.S. Open, qualified for that, and made the cut. It was fantastic. So this birdie machine will play in the Sony this week. So good luck to you, Jackson.
By the way, we will preview the Sony Open coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern on FanStreamSports.com and the mobile app on From the Rough with me and Johnny.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Looking forward to that. And Johnny will return to his Wednesday slots here.
Yes,
give us all the winners. And we'll retweet his picks anyway. So check out our social media.
By the way, you want a preview of his picks?
Sure.
Give you a preview of his picks if you want while you're
just give me the damn picks.
I'm just going to throw them up here on the screen for you. If you
well, then you're not previewing, you're giving
2 seconds here. As we will have a deeper insight on these on our show today. But here are Johnny's picks for the Sony Open. Russell Henley, Taylor Pendrith, and Ben Griffin as your winners. Tom Hoagie, your ham sandwich, which is his long shot. Your top 10s, Tom Kim and Maverick McNeely. Top 20, Siwoo Kim and Patton Kazai.
I just like we're getting back to golf. I like that.
Me too, man.
Yeah. Where's Jackson Suber on there? We need a Jackson Suber.
The outlier of the week.
Ham sandwich. A ham sandwich right there.
I wonder what Jackson Suber's odds are.
John, look him up. By the way, Rick mentioned Gator basketball. We have an emerging story in Gator basketball. They beat Tennessee last night.
Yeah.
Like 73-43. The number one team in the nation, they held to 4 field goals in the first half. The number one team in the nation. It's the biggest beatdown of a number one team since UCLA beat Houston back in 1968 with the great Lou Alcindor. 73-43 over a number one team. Jeez, oh, Pete's. Now, the Gators lost at Kentucky on Saturday, which was a fantastic game, by the way. I don't watch college basketball anymore, but I watched that. That was fantastic. So that is an emerging story, Gator basketball, that we are going to have to cover because they have a great shot to win a national championship. I covered their last 2 when I was at Channel 8 with Noah and who's the other guy? That's the Horford is still in the league. That whole group, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
This team is loaded. Walter Clayton Jr. So we'll be watching Gator basketball here as we go through it. I think that's about it. I think we
Jackson Suber, by the way, is not on the board. You have to request him specifically for if you want odds on him. So.
Yeah, he's one of the guys. They have the alternates that get in. Mm-hmm. So I think he's like number 4 on the list. So he's in this week at the Sony playing golf in Hawaii, the PGA Tour, a homegrown talent here in Tampa Bay from Palmacia. I will be out on that track here momentarily. On a beautiful.
Nice. While I'm sitting here, it's now gone from 24 when we started the show to 28 outside.
Balmy. It's balmy.
Yes.
By the way, prayers to the people out in California. I'm sorry your government has done this to you out there, Gavin Newsom and those people, to leave no water in the fire hydrants. And as Pacific Palisades, one of the most beautiful areas in the world, burns. And I saw some videos of people trapped in their homes with flames just like right outside their windows. I mean, oh my God, terrifying stuff. But evidently your government doesn't care. So
James Woods was posting on his X machine yesterday how when he woke up yesterday morning, he took a picture. You couldn't see anything, no fires. It was the sunrise, yesterday morning, and as of yesterday evening, he literally had flames showing on the other side of his deck. Like that's how close it came to him in that quick of a time. So
it's
people
terrifying.
are losing their entire lives, like right now as we speak.
Terrifying. And there's no water in the fire hydrants.
Nope.
By the way, my dad designed those reservoirs out there.
Oh, wow.
My father designed the reservoirs for LA County, and they're always full, or should be always be full. It is designed to get water always filled from the Colorado River. It's the way they designed the whole thing. So if anybody starts bullshitting you about, the reservoirs weren't full because of that's all bullshit.
Don't blame JP's dad for this.
No, it's negligence or intentional. And that's the truth.
And they're both bad.
Yeah, exactly. That means they don't care about you, or worse.
They care about themselves more.
We'll leave it at that. But prayers to the people. Like, get out of there. Get the hell. By the way, get the hell out of California.
Yeah,
might be.
Come to Dallas. It's nice and cold here.
Don't come to Florida. Just get the hell out of California. But do not come to Florida. We're full. All full here. We're all full up.
Nothing to see here.
No vacancy. No vacancy in Tampa Bay. Please. Love you, but come visit, but then go away. All right. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. Brian Bradley's going to join us. Newly minted Lightning Hall of Famer Brian Bradley will join us live from the morning skate as we get set to take on the Bruins. And then we'll have lots of comments from Baker Mayfield today, the rest of the guys over there at One Buck Place as they get set to take on the Commanders. And we'll talk about the semifinal. We'll have that. Let's go get somebody at the Orange Bowl. I'll get somebody from Miami to talk about the game tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Go Bolts, go Bucks, and we'll see you tomorrow.